Hey, how's it going? I got a really good one for you today. But first, if you're new here, check out the sticky comment. There is a link to my LinkedIn and a link to this playlist. Let's see. I think it's been about 6 weeks now that I was laid off on my birthday. I'm just kind of documenting the process. Before we get to the thing that really ticks me off, yesterday I was able to get about a third of the grass cut. I had cut a third previously. I could have cut more, but it was pretty cold out. I was just like, I can do it another day. While I was cutting the grass, I found a child's diaper in my yard full. I know who it was. I'm pretty confident. They push the stroller around town all day long when it's nice out. And they're living in a trailer in the yard of their boyfriend's soon-to-be ex-wife or ex-wife. So yeah, that was fun. That's not what ticked me off. That was just like, really? Come on, guys. So yesterday, I think I was rejected by one place I applied to. And then I only found one place to apply to. And this is what ticks me off. So I apply to this place, right? And before it lets me apply, it's like, it makes me enter my email address and name and stuff. And then it sends me an email to confirm it. And then when I open it, it's like, so-and-so has invited you to do an aptitude test. It made me take a 15-minute aptitude test before I was even allowed to put any information about myself in other than my name and email address. And this aptitude test was stupid. First, it took over the browser. If you left the window, it reset to the beginning because they didn't want you using the calculator app. And then it was idiotic. It was like pattern recognition, except it wasn't easy pattern recognition. It was like, here's 16 patterns. There's 1% of variance in each one. Predict what the 16th one is supposed to be. And I'm like, and you have 15 minutes to do this. And it was like 40-something questions. And like, just looking at the pattern thing on one of them, I spent like a minute and a half just trying to figure it out. And then finally I was just like, okay, A. And I'm glad I did, because there was like 6 or 7 of those. And then there was tons of like high school SAT math problems, like word problems. And I'm just like, what the heck, guys? I'm trying to apply to your job. Like, and this was at some startup. I'm like, get a grip. Like, what? But I've seen this stuff at other companies too. Let's see, 16, 17 years ago, I went to apply at Hartford, the insurance place, and they made me come in person. And just like when you go to take the ASVAB, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, when you go to take it, I don't know how it is now, but 16, 17 years ago, they set you down in a model Apple II, and you did this little thing, this little aptitude test on the thing. I imagine it's similar today. But that's how the Hartford was too. It was like, here's a computer. The keys have been completely relabeled because they weren't going to use QWERTY. They added their own keys and changed them, and some were blank. And they had you sit down, and you had to figure out the keyboard first while taking like this hour-long aptitude test. And it was like, it's just monkey see, monkey do, dance, dance, monkey dance. And I'm just like, no, stop it. Stop it. Why are you people doing this crap? I'm applying for your job. Like, why are you having me take an aptitude test? One, they didn't really prove anything. What if I'm not the greatest at algebra and the job doesn't require algebra? Or I don't understand these weird patterns where you've moved one of 17 dots ever so slightly to the left or the right of the plus symbol. Or one was like, here's a plus symbol, the multiplication, division, subtraction. And it had them all, and then it would just randomly color different pieces of each symbol in. And you're supposed to like figure out the pattern. And I'm looking at it for like 3 minutes, and I'm just like, okay, my wife gave the entire school that she teaches at the advice recently on the student news that like on the SAT prep, if you don't know the answer, just be consistent and always pick one letter. So I just use that advice. And if I thought it was going to take too long or I had no idea, I was like, A. Honestly, some of those patterns would have taken me 20 or 30 minutes to figure out. And they're trying to get me to do 40 of those questions in 15 minutes for an application. What? Get a grip. Get a grip. I hate looking for a job, especially when I'm not even getting like a callback or interviews, or I'm just getting rejections. And I'm sure I'll never hear from this place that I wasted 14 minutes doing their stupid aptitude test. So I've not heard from any of the 3 individuals or places that I'm somewhat expecting to. I'm guessing the one's completely dead in the water. The other might be dead in the water. I'll reach out to my friend again in like a week or so. I know he's super busy still. I haven't saw him and his partner in super fancy tuxedos, going to some event. And that's a guy that's got pretty much every second of his day either scheduled by someone else or planned by him. And, he has no reason to actually help me find a job. Like, he has much more important things that he's working on. So I'm not going to bother him too much. In another week, if I still haven't had a single interview, I'll be like, hey, man, I'm really struggling. If any help. Because other than that, I don't really have anyone in my network that I can be like, hey, what's going on? Because everybody's lower level in companies or, But he has a lot of connections, and I'm still holding a little hope that might pan out. He did get me the last job via an introduction. Like, I 100% credit getting that job to him. I did not have any of the qualifications they were looking for, but I was completely capable of doing the job, and that introduction made the difference to, like, actually give me a chance instead of just auto-rejecting me. So I'm going to probably have to find a connection somewhere through someone to at least get an interview at a place. Because God knows I can't do these stupid aptitude tests. Like, what is going through their heads with this aptitude test? Like, I've applied to places too that made me take a Myers-Briggs, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what? I thought this stuff was done. I didn't think people were doing this anymore. Like 10 years ago, yeah, 15 years ago, yeah, but like, what? It reminds me of some of the asinine stuff that we'd have to do at FedEx. I'm just like, speaking of FedEx, I think they have a hiring freeze. So even if I wanted to go crawling back there and ask for not even my old job, I'd have to start over from the beginning. I couldn't because there's a hiring freeze. And that other broker I applied to, that my former coworker works at, I don't know that we're friends, but we're friendly. Yeah, just no response, none whatsoever. And I applied to a few others, and they outright rejected me, saying I lacked the experience they needed. And I'm like, I have 15 and a half years experience. Like, what are you talking about? I don't have the experience. I doubt there's a whole lot more people out there right now with 15 and a half years of customs clearance experience in Indianapolis. Like, I was one of the top 5 or 6 senior people at FedEx when I was there. Like, the average age of people, or average experience of people there was like a year and a half. So, whatever. My assignment. So, that visual arts class. Yesterday, I started to work on it. The teacher was like, just use a sans serif font in replacement for the font that Helvetica New or whatever that's only on Mac. So I did that, and I started the assignment, and good grief. Like, I worked on it in 3 hours. It's like the introduction to Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. 3 hours, and I didn't even get halfway through it. And then I did some more last night. I've got 4 of the 20 things left to do, and the teacher said that the last one would take an hour, and even though it says 15 minutes. Well, some of the ones that said they take 5 minutes took me 30, 45 minutes, so it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 hours. So that's my first priority today, after I get this video up, is to just try to power through that, because that's due tonight, at like 1 a.m. Mountain Time, so 3 a.m. tomorrow here. So I got to get that done. And then I have to get started on the next assignment that's due Saturday, the designing icons. I have to make 4 to 6 icons and a bunch of these rules. And it's talking about, like, can't have pixels, no rasters. And I'm like, I don't know how you make an image without pixels. And I don't know what a raster is. And this is like an entry-level mandatory class for all majors. And it's just throwing you right in the deep end of these graphic design tools. And I'm just like, who designed this? And all the videos are for the Mac version. And like, it took me 15 minutes to find where something was yesterday, because in Mac, it's literally right there. No matter what you do, it's right there at the top right. And you just change it. Well, I had to go like 3 menus deep, and there's a ton of menus, and it took me 15 minutes to figure out where it was, and they don't include that in the video. And then he's always like, do command this, do command that, and I'm like, and it's a 3-year-old video from another teacher that was recorded for this. 3-year-old video for a monthly subscription application that's updated frequently. And I'm just like, okay, can't wait for this class to be done. And I'm probably barely going to pass it. Yeah. Although, I will say Illustrator seemed like a steaming pile at the start, but now that I'm 16, 17 of these things in, it's like, oh, okay, you're just annoying because you decided you wanted to use different keys and different things in every single other application ever. Like to zoom, you have to do Control plus minus instead of just being like Control and the mouse wheel, which a lot of applications do. And to move around, you can't just click and drag. You have to do space and then click and drag. And I'm just like, come on, guys. But, hopefully I can do these icon sets. I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm not an artistic person. I'm not interested in UI design. I'm not a UX person. I have no idea what icons. And then there's all of these rules. Like, you can't use text and you can't do this and no curves. But then all the examples have curves. And I'm just like, you can't recreate something that you've seen. Because I was like, okay, I'll just do some runes or something. Well, then it'll be plagiarism because I just copied runes, and I'm just like, okay, so maybe I'll just make some little basic sigils or something. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what to make. Like, where do I start? What do I don't need this stress. Like, I like the English class. It's like, okay, write this paper, use APA. And I'm like, well, I hate APA crap, but okay, cool, I'll do it. And it takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours. Whereas this, it's like, I'm not a graphic person. I don't understand art. Yes, I like things like Gentileschi and Caravaggio because they're these dark Baroque painters that just are kind of cool, but I don't understand the techniques they use or why they did it or how they used light, or all of that is just completely alien to me, and I think it's pointless. And you can show me something that someone did with Dali, and you can show me something that a master painted, like Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo or Raphael or Cezanne or Gentileschi, or, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to struggle with this class a lot. But that being said, we're at like 13 minutes. This might be the longest one of these yet. I better get this video up and then go get to Illustrator because, yeah, I'm going to need probably the whole day, and it's going to keep me from doing AI consulting. I only managed to do 5 hours yesterday because I lost 5 hours, 4.5 hours to class. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.